Commissioner, thank you for joining us. The charges have been laid. It's been linked to ISIS. What more can you tell us about the stage of the investigation?
Yeah, good evening, Layla. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I can't say too much about the circumstances of the offences at the moment, as there's a non-publication order over the facts. I'd really like to show my appreciation, but to those members of the Joint Counter-Terrorism team, the New South Wales Police detectives, the AFP detectives, members of ASIO and members of the New South Wales Crime Commissioner who have worked around the clock to put these charges forward today.
Yeah, it is a complicated and varied investigation, in fact, multiple investigations. So I understand you can't speak to all of that, but I did want to ask you, you spoke to your two injured officers in hospital this morning, Constable Scott Dyson and probationary Constable Jack Hibbert. What can you share with us about how they're doing and how their families are doing?
Yes, certainly. I actually spoke to probationary Constable Jack Hibbert today. Unfortunately, Constable Scott Dyson had a further round of surgery, so I didn't get to see him. But I spoke to Jack and his father and family. He was awake today. We had a lovely chat. He is a really positive young man. He loves being a police officer. He's only been a police officer for 3 months. So to show that sort of dedication that he demonstrated on Sunday is such a credit to him, and it's why I'm so proud to be the Commissioner of Police when I've got officers like Jack.
Indeed. And one of the things that we can be proud of as a nation in Australia is not just our police officers and their incredible work, but the way that when something happens like this, we look at it with clear eyes, we make changes, we do everything we can to prevent another incident. But where do we start here? What could have been done better?
So that's very much why we've got concurrent investigations at the moment. We've got a critical incident investigation which looks at the actions of police, understand what went into the planning, what could have been done, and how we continue to improve, which is really important to me. That investigation is oversighted by our Professional Standards Command, and we have the Law Enforcement Conduct Commission as an independent body. That ultimately reports to the coroner, who will run inquests onto these deaths. And I think that's a really important learning example. And obviously the investigation that's been going in the back in relation to the criminal charges, it is a thorough and detailed investigation. The fact that charges were laid today does not mean this investigation stops at all. We've got significant investigation work to do.
It's terrible to watch the police having to fire back in a way that they are so outgunned. Do police need long-armed weapons?
It's certainly one of the things that we do need to look at. We have specialist departments within the organisation that have long arms, but I think on the back of what we're seeing is a changing crime environment. Previously, we've always used handguns because statistics show right across the world that most police engage at very close quarters. The type of terrible offence we saw on Sunday, the barbaric acts, showed a very different side of crime. So as a police force, we need to now consider what resources, what weapons to best protect my officers, but also the public, which is why we're here to serve the public and keep them safe.
Yep, but certain gun licences now permit people to have as many guns as they want, and the Premier is capping the number. He thinks 5 per person is too many. What number should it be capped to, in your opinion?
That's very much a decision for government. We will enforce the legislation as it is. I think what we saw on Sunday was that having one weapon at a time caused significant harm. So we are really focused on making sure we keep the community safe. We'll work closely with government. Our work is to keep the community safe.
Did we have enough police officers in Bondi that day?
That's obviously part of the critical incident investigation. We work closely with the Jewish CSG, which is their security group. We had a number of police. We had 3 police in the park at the time. We had roving police patrols. We had police around. I don't know, and it would be speculative to even guess, that any number of police could have prevented the barbaric act we saw on Sunday. But it's preemptive to say that. That's why I'll wait for the critical investigation, but also the coronial inquiry.
It was a violence risk assessment conducted about the Hanukkah gathering?
Again, that's very much part of the critical incident investigation. What I'll say is we work very closely with the community. We were supporting a number of Hanukkah events on that day. We continue to work with community. Where the incident took place is part of a very large public police, so we have police moving through that area all of the time.
There are guns and then there is anti-Semitism, and they are the two most important things to be looking at. Anti-Semitism is a plague on our society. What do police need to protect our Jewish community better?
Well, social cohesion is one of the biggest challenges we all face at the moment. That sort of division that is being driven through the community leads to violence. It's something we should never tolerate. It's something the community do expect that we will take action, but certainly this is a responsibility for the whole community. And what you're seeing behind me tonight is a gathering to stand in solidarity with the Jewish community. We need all of the community to come together and say this type of anti-Semitism or any division within the community is unacceptable.
Has this incident raised the threat level against copycat attacks or revenge attacks, and how prepared are police for either of those possibilities?
The national security level hasn't changed, it remains at probable. But as the New South Wales Police Force has demonstrated very quickly, we've established Operation Shelter. We're using about 400 police a day to ensure that we provide protection to the Jewish community, places of worship, significant value locations for the Jewish community. I want the community to feel safe. I want them to know they can go around their business there. We are committed to keeping all parts of the community safe. We will not accept the type of division and violence that we have seen.
Commissioner, a photo has been bandied about online that purports to show an officer freezing in the face of the attack, which could not be further from the truth. I want to ask you how that makes you feel, but I can only imagine that makes your blood boil.
Yeah, absolutely. There was incredible bravery by police officers on Sunday. Some of the officers that attended this scene on Sunday had also been to the Bondi Westfields a year and a half ago when we had that terrible stabbing incident. To go forward, but then to see photos posted on social media, taken completely out of context, saying that police officers had been cowardly is simply unacceptable. At a time when I want to retain police officers in the police force, know that they're valued by the community, those types of posts and the comments that go with them are simply unacceptable.
Commissioner, that kind of hatred and lies when it is directed at you is a painful thing, and police officers are people too. Sometimes I think people forget that. How is the officer coping with that? I would imagine she has a lot of support from her colleagues.
She's obviously been through a lot. Sunday was a significant incident for all of my officers. These are not the types of events that we tend to see. It's not something we expect to see in New South Wales, and it's not something most officers will ever see in their life. So when I combine the tragedy and the circumstances and the chaos and just the sheer nature of the crime that was committed on Sunday, with now seeing derision on social media, it really makes it challenging. It makes it very hard for my officers.
Yeah, people do forget that as brave as the police were running towards this gunfire, they're not immune to being terrified. They're going to struggle with this too, aren't they?
Oh, this type of offence would scare anyone. I think it doesn't matter how well you were trained. To have two men in a high location with high-powered long arms firing at you and then have to go forward and know you need to protect the community would obviously put any person in fear. That's why I'm so proud of my officers. The fact that they turned up, they continue to go forward until they resolve the matter is a great credit and something that I'm incredibly proud of.
Commissioner, we thank you for your time.
Thank you, Layla. I really appreciate it.